Hello, students. Kilpatrick here with another exciting lesson in statistics. Today we are going to learn how to run cross tabulations. Okay, so let's just get right to it. I'm in November 15 to November 21 that week. The cross tabulation instructions are here. So I'm going to click them and then click down here to open it. Click Enable Editing, and we'll get back to this in a second. I want to open up SPSS so we can do a little demonstration here. So I'm going to go down to the Start button and click it, and then type IBM. That's how I start SPSS, so however you start it, either directly or through Cougar Apps, please do so. As we wait for the program to open, because of the wonderful things he does. Yeah, my cats don't like my singing either. Okay, here it comes. So once again, when you open SPSS, you'll get this window asking you what you want to do. What we want to do is open a file, so we're in here. As you can see, I have some files stored in here that I've used before. You may also have that. We're going to open up our usual file today, but I'm going to click Open Another File just in case that's all you see, and then click Open. Yes, hello Jesse. My kitty cat's back. And then whatever folder you keep them in, I'm keeping them on my desktop in a data files folder. And then the GSS 93 file is what I want. Yes, Jesse, I love you too. Sorry, my cat's here. Oh, there he is. Oh, yes, I know. Wow. Okay, I guess he's going to help us with the lesson today. So I'm going to take the SPSS program and move it all the way over to the right. And then put the cross tabulation instructions here on the left. Remember, when you open SPSS, you must go to Edit and Options and make sure that these two things are selected. Display names and alphabetical. And then click Apply and OK. Oh, Jesse, I know. I'm not paying attention to you. But I have to talk to my students now. Okay, so going back to the instructions. From the menu bar in SPSS, we're going to go to Analyze and Descriptive Statistics and Crosstabs. When the crosstab window pops up, we're going to move the independent variable into the row box and the dependent variable into the column box. Oh, Jesse, who thought that? Then after that, there are some buttons that we need to click. We need to click the statistics button and select chi-square and then click continue. And then right next to that, we need to click the cells button, click row percentage, and click continue. And then we can just click OK and run the crosstab. And when we get the tables in the output window, there's two tables that we need to focus on. One is the cross tabulation table, and you need to describe what's going on here in the percentages. Not only just talk about what's happening, but also determine if there is a statistical difference in the independent variable groups. Also, the table underneath that is the chi-square table. That tells you whether the test is significant or not. You're looking in the top row in this table for Pearson chi-square all the way over to the right. And that number must be less than 0.05 for the test to be significant. Okay, and I know this independent variable, dependent variable, significant, this and that is confusing, but we'll run a couple of tests and you'll get a better idea of what's going on. So let's do this over here. Just like it says, from the menu bar, I'm going to go to Analyze and Descriptive Statistics, and there's crosstabs right there, and click it. And here you can see there's a list of variables, there's a row box and a column box. And here's all the buttons over here. So remember, if your list of variables looks different than this, then you have not gone to Edit and Options and selected these two items. You have to do alphabetical and display names. Okay? So let's do an easy one. We're going to put sex in the row, that's male or female, and in column we're going to put income. Like, let's do income 4 in the column, okay? Because we know that incomes are different for males and females. So we're going to see who makes more money, or a greater percentage of people who are in the higher income brackets. Remember what I said over here. Move the independent variable into the row box. Sex, whether you are male or female, is the independent variable because your answer to income is going to depend on whether you're a male or a female. It affects the answer to income. Income is the dependent variable in the column box because, like I said, the answers to, how much you make are going to depend on whether you're a male or a female. So, I need to go over here and do these button selections. So I'm going to click Statistics and click chi-square. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other stuff there, but in my class, you only click chi-square and then continue. And then it also says click the cells button. So I'm going to click that, and we want row percentages. So here on the left is percentages, and we want the row. Click nothing else and leave this observed counts selected. So all we did was open the window, click row, and click continue, and then kapow. We click OK, and there it is. So this is what you get when you run a crosstab. The first table that you get is a case processing summary, and it's completely worthless. So just ignore it. The next table is the cross-tabulation table. And what we're looking at here are percentages. We are not looking at counts. Forget those entirely. Okay? So here we have males and females on the row, and the columns are the different income levels, anywhere from less than 25 grand all the way to 60 grand or more. So in the lowest category, less than 25,000, you see that there's a greater percentage of females in that category. As it starts to increase, there is a greater percentage of males in the next category, 25 to 40 grand, and also 40 to 60 grand. But look what happens when we get all the way to the top. 60 grand or more, it's pretty close, but still there are more females, a greater percentage of females that make $60,000 or more. If I was running this test for a paper, I would point out that 7% more females make less than 25 grand, and a little more than 5% of males make 40 to 60 grand. And then you have to tell me whether the independent groups, the independent variable of sex, whether males and females are statistically different. And the way that you do that in crosstabs is to find out whether in each of these income columns, is there at least a 10% difference? So 10% difference or more between males and females. So in this column of less than 25,000, there is not 10% or more difference. There is not here or here or here. So if you don't see greater than a 10% difference in the independent variable categories, then these groups, males and females, are not statistically different. Okay? And that's important for when I talk to you about writing the paper. Okay? In that PowerPoint. So remember, you're talking to me about the percentages between males and females in general, then you're telling me whether these two groups, males and females, are statistically different. We determined in this table that they are not, because there's not one column that shows a 10% or more difference. Then you have to tell me whether the test is significant, and that occurs in the chi-square test table. There's only one thing to look at here, and that's this number right here, 0.002. In this case, the Pearson chi-square number for significance is 0.002. And all you have to do is ask yourself, is this number less than 0.05? And 0.002 is, in fact, less than 0.05. And that makes this test significant. If the significance number, which in this case for crosstabs is Pearson chi-square, is less than 0.05, then the test is significant. Okay? So we ran the test, we talked about the percentages, we determined whether males and females are statistically different, and then we determined whether the test is significant. Okay? The chi-square table only tells you whether the test is significant or not. The cross-tabulation table only gives you the results of the test. Okay? So let's try another one, by golly. I could go to Analyze and Descriptive Statistics and Crosstabs and pull this thing up, but I'm going to show you something else now. See this button? It's a dialog recall button. And what it remembers is everything that you've done in your current session of SPSS. So instead of going here, here, and here, you can just click that and click crosstabs and it will pop back up. This button is a very good friend of yours because you're going to do a lot of testing in SPSS. Okay, so I'm going to double click sex and double click income and get it out of here. And this time I'm going to find the race variable and put that in the row box. That is my independent variable. And I'm going to find the spanking variable. You know, do you believe in spanking to discipline children? And put it in the column box. The answers to spanking will depend on your race or your ethnicity. Okay? Now, I already clicked statistics before and clicked chi-square, and I already clicked cells and clicked row. So as long as I just get these replace these variables without clicking reset, I don't have to go in here and click these buttons again. Okay, so I have my variables in place. I'm going to click OK, and here we are again. Case processing summary is meaningless to me. I'm going to go down here first to the cross-tabulation table and see that in this data set, there are only 3 race categories: white, black, and other. Okay, and here are our answers to how much you favor spanking to discipline the child. You know, this column is strongly agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. So let's look at some percentages in the strongly agree column. Black respondents in this data set have a much higher percentage of favoring spanking to discipline children. The other 2 categories, white and other, are right about 20%. So you could certainly point that out. The agree column is almost identical. You know, you could look at disagree or strongly disagree and find out pretty much the same thing. It's interesting that black respondents have the highest percentage here, and that white and other respondents are almost identical in the strongly agree and strongly disagree. Now, are these independent category groups statistically different? Okay, we're going to look in each of these columns and find that here, yes, there is at least a 10% difference. Here there is not, here there is, and here there is not. Oh my, we're tied, right? There's 2 that there are not, and there's 2 that there are. So if that's the case, then I'm going to say that the groups are not statistically different. There should be a majority of columns that show 10% or more difference between the groups. So we pointed out that black respondents have the highest percentage of strongly agree. White and other respondents are right about 20% in both strongly agree and disagree. And then we're going to go right back down here to the chi-square test table and find again that the Pearson chi-square number is 0.002. Once again, this is less than 0.05, and that means that this test is significant. It is a significant test. And one more time, this chi-square test table tells you whether the test is significant only. The cross-tabulation table gives you the results of the test only. This table has nothing to do with whether the test is significant, and this table has nothing to do with whether the results of the test. Okay? Keep these 2 things separate from each other. You need both of them to report the result of the test, but they do entirely different things. Okay? So that's how you run a crosstab. Well, I'll just see you in another video. Okay. Bye-bye then.